welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. My name is Amanda. Today I'm going to be doing my June TBR, but I'm going to do a little spicing up. I've been looking for a way to read more books that I wouldn't normally choose because I've got so many on my shelves that I haven't read. I really like 3 different ways of picking your TBR. One of them I want to try, but I can't try it yet because I need to make the thing for it. So I've seen TBR jars around on BookTube all over the place. So one of the ways I'm going to do today is to pick a book from my TBR jar here. I don't know if you can see the front of it, or my kids decorated the thing for it. I'm gonna pick one book from that. I love the idea that Cody from Cody's Book Corner came up with for a TBR wheel. And so I wanted to do that, but I'm not really that crafty. I mean, I'm gonna try to be crafty. And then I was watching BookTube earlier and I saw a video from Alexandra at Books on My Nightstand. And she did a wheel of TBR, but she did it on like an app thing that you can generate it. And so I think it's called Wheel Decide. And I thought that was great. That was a great idea. So I'm gonna do that. And this is not my idea. I'm not taking credit for it at all. The credit goes to the very first person who did this, I think, and that is Cody from Cody's Book Corner. And then also giving credit to Alexandra from Books on My Nightstand, and I'll link both of their channels down below, both of their TBR videos. So go give them a follow and check out their videos. So let's get into my TBR for this month. And I actually have a few more that didn't come from the Wheel of TBR that I actually have to read this month. And if I finish all of these, I have some library books that I need to get to, but I'm not gonna add those library books into the TBR. If I end up reading them, you'll see them in my wrap up. I filmed this earlier with my mom here and my dad. So I filmed this earlier of me spinning the wheel. I'll insert clips of each spin and then tell you what books that I chose. So here goes the first spin. We landed on new author. So you could either do new to you author or new author, like brand new author, I think. If not, that's the way I'm doing it. So I haven't chosen yet, but the choices are between the new author, and that is Again But Better by Christine Riccio. And I've been following her writing story since she started posting about it. And so I'm so excited to have a copy of this in my hand. And I really want to read this, but I'm not sure if I'm going to have time. This next book, it's one of my choices for the Smutathon, and that is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. So one of these books will be chosen for this. Basically in this one, the entire wedding party gets food poisoning, and the entire wedding party gets food poisoning, including the bride and groom. So the best man and I think it's the maid of honor or one of the bridesmaids, it's the bride's sister, has to go on the honeymoon together because it's non-refundable, I think. And it's a enemies to lovers trope, and it sounds good. So Again But Better follows Shane, a college student who has been doing college all wrong and decides to do a semester abroad in London. And while she's there, she's going to do it right. She's going to fix all her college mistakes, and she's gonna try to make friends, meet boys, and find adventures. And this sounds so good. The first part of the synopsis sounds like me when I was in college, because I was a homebody and scared of people. So this sounds good too, and I really want to get to reading it because I followed all of the journey and I really want to read this beauty. So I will decide which one of those I'm gonna read. Spin number 2. And for big book, I'm not sure what I'm going to choose for this either. I have 2 choices. The first choice is a book that I'm buddy reading with some people, and that is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I've been dying to read this. It is a chunker though. Well, if I don't have time, this will be for this challenge. But the other book I want to get to this month, because I'm having some withdrawals, is A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. And I'm having Game of Thrones withdrawals since the series ended, and I have lots of feels about that. and just gonna say I'm sad, but also happy, but also sad. Mixed feelings, mixed emotions. So yes, this or this. Not sure which one I'm gonna go for. Both relatively large books. This one is bigger than this one, but if I can fit them both in, good. But if I can't, I need to read this one because I'm buddy reading it. Roll number 3. A thriller is something I don't normally read. I enjoy them. I just don't really pick them up. I stick usually to fantasy and sci-fi, and I don't normally go out of that zone. So I'm really kind of glad that this popped up. And for this, I picked Don't Let Go by Harlan Coben. I'm not sure what this is about. I'll just read you the synopsis. Suburban New Jersey detective Napoleon Knapp Damas hasn't been the same since his senior year of high school, when his twin brother Leo and Leo's girlfriend Diana were found dead on the railroad tracks. And Mara, the girl Knapp considered the love of his life, broke up with him and disappeared without explanation. For 15 years, Knapp has been searching for Mara and for the real reason behind his brother's death. And now it looks as though he may finally find what he's been looking for. When Mara's fingerprints turn up in the rental car of a suspected murderer, Knapp embarks on a quest for answers that only leads to more questions about the woman he loved, about the childhood friends that he thought he knew, about the abandoned military base near where he grew up, and mostly about Leo and Diana, whose deaths are darker and far more sinister than Knapp ever dared imagine. So I thought this sounded really good. It's really not that big of a book. I'm excited to read this. Roll number 4. Oh, I forgot to say I'm only spending 5 times this month because I already have books that I have to read. And I have a pick from the TBR jar, so I'll have 6 books that I need to read. But I already had books that I needed to try to fit into this. So spin number 4. And that is cover, and what that means is either a cover by or just a cover that you thought was beautiful, reading strictly for the cover. And that book I chose was Furthermore by Tahereh Mafi. I hope I said that right. I probably didn't. And I'm not sure what this book is about. This is about a girl who lives in a land where everything is filled with color, except her. She's born completely white, except for a little pink in her cheeks. And the more color you have, the more magic you have, I think, is the premise. And so this follows her story, and it sounds really good. I don't want to know much more than that. I like to go into things kind of blind. So this is my pick for cover. Look how pretty this is. I'm sorry there's a glare. I got this at the library, so there. It's a really beautiful cover. And final roll. Roll number 5. Pick. And this is why it was good that my mother was here, because she picked this book for me off my shelf. And that book is Bookland by Julie Murphy. I'm not sure what this book is about. I know it was made into a Netflix movie, but I think it's about a plus size girl who's in pageants, maybe? Yeah, she joins a pageant. This is really cute. I think it's gonna be a good read. I've been meaning to read this so that I could watch the movie. I hate watching movies before I read the book. The 2 books that I need to read that didn't fit in here, I need to finish Trail of Lightning by Rebecca Roanhorse. This is kind of like a post-apocalyptic world where the world has drowned under what they call the big water. Basically the whole world flooded except for Deneta, I think is how you say it. It's a former Navajo reservation. And with the waters came the gods and monsters of legend, and it follows Maggie, who is a monster hunter. She's supernaturally gifted to be a killer. She finds and kills monsters, and she sets out on a journey, and there's a romance in here. I think this is an adult fiction, I do believe. So far it's pretty good. I started reading it in May, but I didn't finish it. I'm like 140 pages in, so I need to finish that. And then I wanted to read 1,000 Beginnings and Endings. Oh, there's such a glare. I got this at the library, so it's got the protective little plastic on it. 1,000 Beginnings and Endings, edited by Ellen O. and Elsie Chapman. And this is a short story compilations of Asian mythology, I think. So there's stories in here from different authors, and it's gonna be a good read, I think. I am excited to read this. A lot of people have been talking about it on BookTube, and I'd love to get in on reading it and seeing how good it is. Now it is time for our TBR jar pick. Okay. We're going to be reading Little Red by Caroline Lee, and that is a Little Red Riding Hood retelling. And I don't know much more than that. And so those are all of the books that I'm going to be reading in June. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you're going to be reading this month. I'd love to hear, and maybe I'll have some more books to add to my TBR jar. Leave a like if you liked the video. If you'd like to see more from us, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any uploads. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!
My heart